Welcome back. Dale Myers with Football Advance. Today we're going to talk about how big is your playbook. So today we're going to focus on offense and just kind of walk you through my little journey. Some of my best friends know when I was a little boy, I used to take my Cowboys and Indians and we'd be playing football with them. So I always had these massive plays and such. And then, of course, when we actually went out there playing rec ball, I was a guy that loved drawing up plays. So as you might expect, once I started coaching, I was coaching rec ball at the time, and I started using my high school playbook. And of course, the best plays from Tecmo Bowl had to be a part of my rec ball playbook too. And then as I got more into football and started coaching at the high school level, then different offensive coordinators I worked under had their system. So I had playbook from that guy, another playbook from that guy. So when I got my first job as offensive coordinator, I promise you, my playbook looked like this specifically. So I've always been an option guy, and so the option was a part of my game, but I also loved. We threw it a lot in high school too. We ran option, but we threw it, so I always wanted a healthy mix. So I carried a good bit in my portfolio, so to speak. For example, let's take a look. In my run game, again, I was basic triple option. We had basic triple option. We had the midline. Now, eventually, I added power read, but this was we did have like a traditional power and a counter. And again, later on, I did add buck. A trap. Now the trap is, I like, even today, if I do run a trap, I like to run an influence trap that looks exactly like the buck sweep. And of course you have to have your ISO play. We ran speed option, so we taught a little rip and run, the same kind of thing that the tall sweep blocking. So, and then I had something else called wall. Now, I've only coached for 1 year in a system that did inside and outside zone, so I am by no means a guru. So I kind of had my own version of it. I just called wall with a whole line step one side or the other, and it to me was very similar to like when we ran the buck sweep. It was everybody did the same thing. Everybody did wall except for the one guy that was or buck sweep or power read. The one or two guys that were pulling, their rules were different. So having said that, that was my run package. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 run plays. How many of y'all that's out there got 9 run plays in your playbook? Raise your hands. Okay. Now, how many of them can your guys execute and do it well? Okay, that's what I thought too. This is the danger. As coaches, we like this stuff. It gets sexy. We like drawing stuff up on the blackboard, the chalkboard, whatever it is, but it's not what we know. It's what our guys can execute on. And then passing game. I love having beaters to one side, because you never know what the defense is going to come out in cover 3 or cover 2 or cover 4. So I like having cover 3 beaters on one side of the field, cover 2 on the other, or 2 high, slant hitch combo, slant flat. I just realized I left another one off of here. Curl flat, run that a little bit. All hitches. Of course, you got to have the verticals. All goes, right? Go sit. You're gonna run a go unless you can't break your DB's cushion and you sit down on them at 10 to 12 yards. That's a money play. I'll do a video on that one, but that play gets you some money right there. Hitch boot right. We're going to throw the hitch. If the hitch not there, we're going to run a boot to the other side. That's a great play, too. You guys are going to love that one. Of course, one of the greatest plays in football, the awesome waggle. It's hard to stop. Stick route, made famous by the air raid guys. I love that play. It's hard to stop. Shallow cross, depending on the year, I was sort of effective with that. Got to have the right quarterback. Scat, this is a 3-man snag concept. Of course, drive, double post, and you have to have the vertical wheel. I mean, you have to have the wheel route in your arsenal, right? So let's look at this. How many passing concepts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right. Same concept. How many, now keep in mind, for each of these, your quarterback, the most important person, has to know the reads. So he has to get enough repetitions for every one of these plays in order to be able to perform on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever day your team plays on. Now, in terms of the blocking scheme, I've done full slide, half slide, man slide protection. I'm having a brain freeze. So basically, when everybody's reaching to the side, what is it called? Okay, this is live, but it'll come back to me. But basically, when everybody's pulling to one side, we're getting the quarterback on a sprint out protection. All right. And again, are you going to just have your guys be aggressive up front? Or are you going to have them, post set or whatever? So these are all decisions you got to make based on your line and and of course what you can teach. So this would be your protections here. And it also depends on how much you want to involve your back in the passing game. And last thing, let's look over here, guys. I'll be off the screen a little bit. I'll just come across. Your screens. Your wide receiver screens, bubble screens, and your tailback. The left, right, and to the middle. So all these different things that we may have to deal with in terms of your offensive line has to learn these different, unless you're going to block every one of these with the same blocking scheme. And I'm considering doing that. Just having the same blocking scheme for the screen, or maybe just two different screen blocking schemes. So having said all of that, guys, this is a lot to put on your team. It's a lot. It's fun for us to draw it up, but it's a lot on your quarterback. And most importantly on the quarterback, but honestly, it's your offensive line. If your line is confused, it doesn't matter who you got, what kind of stud you got at QB, wide receiver, running back. If your line won't get it done, you're in trouble. So having said that, now, today, do I still run all of this? No. Now, most of the time, I don't even carry a trap. When I run speed option, I do it off of my triple. I don't really do wall anymore. Oh, and of course, one I left off, the great wedge. Wedge is great. Wedge is an awesome play. I mean, it's old school simple, but it's awesome too. You could have included the wedge in there. So right now, I don't carry a counter. I use more misdirection because when we're running the buck sweep, we have some stuff going on. I can bring my H back behind the line of scrimmage. So I use different plays to give me the same effect as the counter would give me. So right now, this is my run game. And I don't run midline that often. So most of the time, truly, most of the time it's triple, power read, buck sweep, and ISO. Now, we'll do a video on my ISO. I matched up my ISO protection to my drop back protection. So the same rules, I use the same rules as if we were running the ball in terms of who are we responsible for or what gap are we responsible for. The linemen, once they learn the ISO scheme, is the exact same as our passing scheme. Now that comes with its own set of issues, but look, there's no foolproof scheme. It's a matter of what I'm trying to simplify so that my guys can execute and they get lots of reps. Because every rep on ISO is a rep in cementing the pass protection rules against different fronts that you will see against better defenses. Over here, I don't carry curl flat that much. I still love slants and hitches. Sometimes slant flat, but most of the time I don't carry that. The hitch, boot right, and waggle are very similar. So I love this because this is a quarterback looks to one side of the field. If it's there, he throws the hitch every time. If it's not there, we're going to boot. So I really love this play. I don't really carry the drive. The double post is a tag. It's not a separate play. So like when I